celebration time.
Welcome to Belize Watch. French Impressionist artist Edgar Degas said, "Art is not what you see, but what you make others see." Belizean artist Raquel Rodriguez has made art the center of her life for many years. We stopped by her art school in Belmopan to find out more about the artist and how her school was created. We'll have that conversation after a word from our partners, B&E Charitable Trust, the National Gas Company, Shell Belize, and Dibari.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited project became a reality because Belizeans believed in the project and invested in its development, construction, and implementation. Equity financing for the project featured investments from local enterprises as well as one foreign investor. The public-private partnership structure of the project facilitated government's ownership of a 25% stake at no cost to the taxpayers. Debt financing for the project featured the successful launch of Belize's first ever project bonds, some $30 million financed by a cross-section of institutional investors. Investments came from credit unions, notably St. Francis Xavier Credit Union and Holy Redeemer Credit Union, insurance companies, pension funds, and commercial banks. In addition, the project managed to successfully secure some $12 million in debt financing from the IDB Invest. The IDB's participation in this debt financing is a testament to their belief in the environmental, social, and governance principles taken on by the developers of this project. This project is a testament to the growth and development of Belize's financial system. It shows confidence of Belizean investors to put their money behind homegrown and developed projects that contribute to our national development. I am proud of this project, and I'm hopeful that there are many more like it to come.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust esteems its partnership with creative and innovative minds that aim at improving Belizean lives and communities. The trust has invested over 11 million Belize dollars by funding projects that promote positive impact in areas of education, social and environmental sustainability, and entrepreneurial development. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans and unlocking potential since 2008. Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell!
We are Dibari, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. Dibari. Get more? Belize.
In Belmopan at Raquel Arts, And Raquel, let's find out first of all who is Raquel and what Raquel Arts is all about.
Okay,
Who
nice.
is Raquel?
Raquel is Raquel Rodriguez. I am originally from Belize City. I grew up down there. I went to St. Joseph's School, St. Catherine's, St. John's. And then in St. Catherine's, I met with a teacher. Her name was Miss Amadea, and she introduced me to the world of art. Ever since then, I was in love. I was intrigued by art. And going to St. John's, my dad allowed me to have art as my major. And then, so it just bloomed. More and more love for art bloomed. And then after that, I moved off. I lived in Honduras, and I went to an art school as well. So I have a little bit of background with the arts. And when I came back to Belize, I opened up a store and then moved away from Belize, came back, and I decided, you know what, there's enough moving, enough everything straying away from what I really wanted to do, and I focused in on being what I really was meant to be, and that was an artist. And it meant that I had to do edible art, like I did a few cakes for Love FM once, I remember. And then ever since then, I decided, you know what, it's time to just really focus into my art and just whatever happens, happen. So we moved away again from the cakes, and I went into canvas, and it was a little bit rocky at the beginning, but I met a lot of artists here in Belmopan when I came here in about 2016, 2017. I met a bunch of artists from Placencia and from Cayo, and I think that's where the spark actually exploded, because meeting those key artists, the Sierra's brothers, Kelvin Beiser, different people, Miss Caroline Carr herself, you know, and all these people, I realized like, wow, these are legends, but they are people just like me. And they showed me the ropes, you know, how can you sell your art, how you can expand yourself as an artist in Belize and actually live from your art, and not just like, you know, that little term where you say if you're a starving artist. So yeah, you don't really have to be a starving artist in Belize if you know the ropes. And they were teaching me that throughout the years, you know, how to do the expos and the art fests and the street fests and the different places, and how to sell your art through to the gift shops and different things like this. And so I learned a lot thanks to the artists of Belmopan and Cayo. So we became like this huge little family. And ever since then, my love for art, and I missed one part. There was a little era in my life where I was also a teacher.
Oh, yeah?
So yes.
You've done a lot,
Yes,
Raquel.
I've done a lot. I've done a lot. So between the having a business and then moving around different parts of the world, I did come back to Belize with being having this teaching experience under my belt. So I was a teacher in Guatemala for 7 years, and when I came back and I really pushed my art.
But what took you to these countries first and foremost? Let me talk about, you said Honduras, then you said Guatemala.
Yes,
Why these two countries?
Okay, so I think most artists would agree with me when we say that artists are free spirits. We are free spirits. We don't feel really tied down to anywhere. Well, I don't personally feel tied down to anywhere in particular. And so moving around and picking up and going somewhere is relatively easy. It's not easy financially, but it's easy mentally. It's easy for us to mentally move away and go somewhere. Also, we want to see the whole world. If we're painting, we want to know, what does the volcano really looks like? You know, what does the lava really feel like? What does it, and I've done that. We've climbed volcanoes, we've touched lava. So, you know, what does it actually feel like to be on a desert, or to be in the snow, or to be, so I have yet to feel snow, but we want to do those things. We want to feel what we're, because normally when you're painting, it's something that you're exposed to, or you're experiencing that you actually paint. So it's something that comes from within you. So moving around all over the world was, I guess, part of being an artist. I would think.
You said you went to school in Honduras. Which school did you go to in Honduras?
I went to Bellas Artes in Tegucigalpa. I went there to study art for a couple of years, and I was exposed. That was the first time I was actually exposed to the art life, because these people, like how I am today, I am exposed today to lots of artists who are just artists. We not do this on the weekend. We do this Monday to Sunday, if that makes sense. People don't understand that. Yes, you're an artist, but what you're I do for a living? I'm an artist. That's my title. And so when I was living in Honduras, I was about 17 or 18 years old, very young, and then I got exposed to, people making their exhibitions. Where do they sell their art? They have in the malls, they would have like gift shops, and these paintings would be on the wall. And then, you're walking around different malls, different plazas, and all the paintings are just like this, and they're out there to sell. And these are things that we didn't have in Belize at the time. At the time when I left Belize, there was Rachel Hushna, there was Carlin Carr, there was George Gabb, Gilvano. So Gilvano Swayze and George Gabb, they're my family. Maybe that's also how it's inside of me. So all these things played a key role in where I am today, because being familiar with the school and how it works, because I was a teacher, being familiarized with how the paintings work by selling them in gift shops and things, because of meeting all these artists in Honduras and again in Belmopan, when coronavirus hit us, that's the most important thing here, because without coronavirus, I would not be an art teacher.
Oh, yeah?
I would not, no, because in Belize, you can make a living from just selling your art touristically or in a tourism market. So that's where I was heading. I was heading to just full all the gift shops, full all the hotels, full all these restaurants, and just sell.
Make the tourists come and buy.
Exactly.
And you do it commercially.
Commercially is the word, because you would paint that toucan 20, 25 times. You would paint that jaguar so many. So that's where I was heading. And it's a very lucrative business. It's also fun. It has its perks and its positive sides, because you're gonna earn a bunch of money. I shouldn't be saying that, because artists don't want us to tell out their secrets too much about how to sell the art. But when coronavirus hit and that market was completely closed for us for over a year, I realized with a couple other people, for example, the Art Shack, it's an art gallery here in Belmopan, and she blossomed during coronavirus as well. She opened her store and blossomed, selling our pieces in her gallery during coronavirus online. So that was like, we realized that this online business is the new way to go. So two things happened during coronavirus. One, we learned for sell on Facebook. And two, I learned that I could inspire way more with my art by being an art teacher than just painting that toucan and selling it to tourism. I am not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Because I had this teaching inside my blood for 7 years, and I realized that if I teach a kid to paint, I'm giving her like a whole future in art, that it was so inspiring to me that I couldn't go back to just selling the art. You know what I mean? Like it touched me, and it became way more. So when
you wanted to leave something behind, you wanted to create a legacy. As again, having said, okay, this was just painted by Raquel Rodriguez. You wanted to say, some young person to say, I was inspired to paint by Raquel Rodriguez.
Exactly.
That's the switch you wanted to make, right?
And I forgot to mention my dear teacher, Miss Perdomo, because she was also a huge inspiration in my life. And I realized that it is so rewarding for that student to come to class on Monday and say, Miss, this is what I painted over the weekend. Or Miss, I sold one of my paintings to my uncle or something, like Emily. And yes, they sell. So teaching the kids during coronavirus, the whole school idea blossomed, because parents came to me, Miss Raquel, we know that you paint and we know that you're an artist. Would you teach my child to do this? Because we have nothing to do at home. There's no school, there's no face-to-face. This was the time when it was very rocky, and coronavirus had just hit Belize, and we literally had no school, like no online, nothing was set up yet. So parents were panicking because they're not used to the kids being home all day with nothing to do. And so they came to me and they kept asking, and I kept saying no, and eventually I gave in.
How many children did you start with?
I started with one.
One?
With one. I started with one, and that was little let me see who I started with. I started with Jenny, and then I ended up with Amaya, and then I ended up with Naija. So yeah, it started growing from there. I had Amelia and her grandmother, so they came in as well. But it started off with one student, and then I posted it on my Facebook page, and everybody started sending their kids to me. I think I've touched over 100 kids throughout the year of 2021 through art.
What's the course outline?
Okay, so to come to my class, I normally have the kids go for a month. So that's what we call one course. It will be consisted of 12 sessions. And during those sessions, we spread them out to 3 times a week. And during those sessions, they're with me from anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sometimes they stay 2 hours and a half. And during that time, they have access to everything in my studio. So they have access to all the paintbrushes, to paints, to different canvases, raw canvas and canvases that are pre-stretched, and they know what that means, because when they have raw canvas, it's literally just a piece of cloth, and then the kids will stretch it on the stretchers. They will try to staple it with mist without stapling their fingers, and then we prime it and everything. So the whole process of what it means to actually be an artist, because the raw canvas is something that's relatively cheap. So for us as artists, if we don't have money and we want to paint that huge painting or lots of paintings, then we buy this canvas at Micado's, and then we actually stretch it out on the canvas and we paint. That's the real origin of being an artist. So I teach them how to really and truly be an artist, and not just go to A&R and buy that canvas, because we actually pre-stretch some of our canvases. It's not just the ones sorry, not pre-stretch, we stretch them, and not just the ones that you can buy. And so the kids do that in class. They have access to everything, and the courses.
Is there a monthly fee or a weekly fee?
So the courses are to teach them how to paint. So our classes are called Fundamentals of Art, and we teach them how to paint. We teach them how to sketch and different things. But at the same time, they're basically free to express themselves like this, like what we do with the gun violence exhibition and different things. I do charge. I charge $180 per course. That's including the 12 sessions, but it also includes more, because I teach them during that time, and sometimes after classes. We do extra classes on Saturdays or Sundays. Sometimes I'm trying to find different projects, because we do a lot for the community of Belmopan, and so we find these different projects, and Miss makes the proposals and find the funding, and we go into the city of Belmopan, and we do work for Belmopan. So we actually work. The kids work with me. When they come, they're painting, they're moving rocks, they're painting murals, they're doing all sorts of things.
You select the themes, or they select the theme that they would like to paint?
Depending on what the project is, whomever we're doing the project for, they will select the theme of the project. So for example, we did the mural for the city council, and that was done because Miss Mayor Sharon Palacio came to me, and she asked for the school to do the mural along with some artists, right? So when I took on the project manager title for that project, they gave us what they wanted on the wall, and then we just brought it to life. When we did the project with the police academy, also they had ideas of what they had wanted. They wanted Mr. Arthur Adolphus on the wall, so we came up with that for them. They wanted their logo. So the students do along guidelines of what the community have been asking. But more than that, we are incorporating an entrepreneurship program with our school, because I've had so much years, like I said earlier, about in a business, doing different things, traveling around. So I know that nothing is done without money. So I teach the kids that yes, art is beautiful. It's a great way to express yourself. But the key is also you need to feed yourself. So if you want to pursue a career in art, that's great. But you will actually have to have these keys to learn how to feed yourself from it. And so that's what I do. I teach them how to make very small canvases, because I tell them, you know, a tourist would just, or anybody walking into a gift shop will rather just grab something, you know, 4 inches by 6 inches, other than maybe a huge painting that's like 4 feet
Yeah,
by.
you might have to take it off the frame anyway
Well,
to
yeah, they
transfer
can
it.
do that as well.
Yeah.
And in class, we show them how to paint small ones to sell quickly. We also teach them how to take on commission, so that they can do bigger ones for whomever wants a big painting. And so we teach them. The students are always asking me to show them how to do the costs and take out their profits and all that. So teaching the economics behind.
Side of it, yeah.
Exactly. So that's all included.
How long does a class last? How many months or weeks?
Okay, so during my courses, each course is different, because in each course that you join, each course is a month, and that's 12 sessions within the month. However, I have students who have been with me for many courses, because every time they stay longer, they're improving their art. So it's not just one course, it's like a building block. If they would like to come only for 1 or 2 courses because it's summertime or Christmas vacation or something like this, that's fine. But we also try to encourage the kids to continue, and that's why the entrepreneurship program is so important, because I'm teaching them how to sell their art so
Yeah.
that they can pay for their own tuition.
So they're not only painting, but I'm also learning how to make money and what to do with the money that they make, and how to create a business.
Exactly.
Make a business out of it. out there.
Exactly. Because if they're paying for their own tuition, then mom and dad won't feel too hard, you know, too bad to send them to school, especially if they cover half of it or the whole thing by selling their paintings.
They don't go about selling the paintings themselves, right? You market it for them.
Exactly. So what I do is, that's why I mentioned about the smaller pieces, because we fill gift shops. We fill gift shops in San Pedro. We fill gift shops in Placencia, here in Belmopan as well. And so what we do is I have lots of artist friends from all over the country. We are quite over 100 artists all over the country, active artists painting and selling our art. And so I ask them to help the kids. And so we have different artists taking on some of the paintings into their little gift shops as well. And then we have coffee shops in Belmopan, like Wings and Feathers have been a huge agent for us, because we basically have our own stand in Wings and Feathers.
Wings and Feathers.
Yes, Wings and Feathers is a coffee shop here. Yes, fancy. A fancy coffee shop where everybody goes to. So we put our paintings there, and the kids sell quite a bit.
Okay. Now you say that does the child get any? How is the profit shared? From the paintings? How do you share the money that you make from the painting? What's the breakdown?
Good question. So what we have been doing for 2021, because we're learning, is to take off. They understand that the painting is done by materials that we have in school. So whatever the cost is for the canvas, for example, if it's $2 or $3, we take that off, and whatever is left from the money that we're selling it for, the kids receive. When we do big workshops, for example, whatever we sell, the kids receive, and then there's a small percentage that we put back into the school so that we can buy more and more materials.
Sure.
But there's always a small percent that the kids understand that we're putting back into the school, so that we can always be buying more supplies for other students or for them to paint again in the future.
So it's a revolving fund, basically, that you do.
Exactly. So that every time there's a course and we have some kind of project, for example, right now there is Valentine's Day coming up, so we are going to be supplying a bunch of these different coffee shops and gift shops with little small little small paintings for them to resell for us. But this would be like maybe 100 paintings we'll put all over the country to sell, and we want to be able to take some percentage of our profits that we're making to put back into the school to repurchase supplies. And the kids understand, and also that's teaching them something very vital in the world, in the future, right? In the economic world, how to manage their money, So it's more of a managerial of money that we're teaching them, so that we can put back something into school. They understand that every time that you do something to make market-wise or in a self-sustained economy where you're making something from your talents, you do have to always put back a small percentage to pay for supplies.
The business has to get back
Exactly.
what it puts in, no?
Yes, that's their little entrepreneurship side to the art school.
They learn entrepreneurship, they learn art, and they learn how to use art as a way of making a living.
Yes.
You know, to selling it and selling it for the price that it should attract. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get to know a bit more, maybe meet some of your students and of Raquel School of Art.
Yes, Raquel Art.
We'll have much more on Raquel Art and meet a couple of the art students. But first we say thank you to our partners, B&E Charitable Trust, working in the development of Belize by inspiring young Belizean entrepreneurs to dream and to dream big. The National Gas Company, fueling Belize forward. The National Gas Company makes sure that you not only have a guaranteed supply of gas for every household will need, but also that it is of the highest quality always. Shell Belize has been fueling Belize for many, many years, and they have done that reliably and with a lot of dependability. Dibari stores in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, Orange Walk, and San Pedro, offering you much more for much less.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited project became a reality because Belizeans believed in the project and invested in its development, construction, and implementation. Equity financing for the project featured investments from local enterprises as well as one foreign investor. The public-private partnership structure of the project facilitated government's ownership of a 25% stake at no cost to the taxpayers. Debt financing for the project featured the successful launch of Belize's first ever project bonds, some $30 million financed by a cross-section of institutional investors. Investments came from credit unions, notably St. Francis Xavier Credit Union and Holy Redeemer Credit Union, insurance companies, pension funds, and commercial banks. In addition, the project managed to successfully secure some $12 million in debt financing from the IDB Invest. The IDB's participation in this debt financing is a testament to their belief in the environmental, social, and governance principles taken on by the developers of this project. This project is a testament to the growth and development of Belize's financial system. It shows confidence of Belizean investors to put their money behind homegrown and developed projects that contribute to our national development. I am proud of this project, and I'm hopeful that there are many more like it to come.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust esteems its partnership with creative and innovative minds that aim at improving Belizean lives and communities. The Trust has invested over 11 million Belize dollars by funding projects that promote positive impact in areas of education, social and environmental sustainability, and entrepreneurial development. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans and unlocking potential since 2008. Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell!
We are Dibari, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, sa Ignacio Cayo, or you're at now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita, Dibari. Get more? Belize.
All we the one. See what I mean? Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation. It's been too long, we've got to unite now. Time and space can't keep us apart right now. Unity, yes, you better know. It's the only way to go.
Yeah, and Raquel, like I was saying, you can feel the passion in your work. You know, you're very passionate in what in what you're doing.
Yes, I guess as in any teacher would, because we're doing something. Being a teacher, you give back a lot of what you are, who you are to your students. I have about maybe 15 to 20 students per course. I've had different students throughout the year, and I feel like I've done something important, not important, maybe something positive for them in their life, because even now I have students who've been with me, let's say in March or in January when I first started, and they would email me or text me or WhatsApp me pictures that they're doing at home right now. So we try to incorporate different aspects to their art so that they feel that that passion that I'm feeling as well, that you can do so much with art. You know, it's not just and there's one aspect that I didn't touch, and that's for the kids to self-express. They are not self-expressing what's happening or the impact that's happening right now with the coronavirus, because they're at home. There is no outlet because there is no face-to-face yet. And so the kids have lots of cooped up emotions, and art is a vital way for them to self-express. And so, you know, it's like, it's not just painting, it's music or singing or dancing. You self-express, and that's what we try to do with the mentors. Coming back to the mentors, I include lots of mentors from the community to join us in different campaigns. So we have different campaigns throughout the year, and we include mentors in these campaigns. And by that, that inclusion of different adults coming in, different professionals coming in and talking to the children and the students, they get to understand that these things are way bigger than what we think. We have them, we try to encourage them to watch the news and to see that, yes, it's just gun violence, but what does it actually mean? By seeing a police officer in his uniform telling them about gun violence. Or we had Mr. Gary Gentle come in, and he talked to them about gun safety. Then wow, this is something more. This is somebody who owns a security company, and he's telling us that he has so many employees out there on the floor right now, on the ground in Belmopan, and they're there because they're protecting the establishments from this violence that's coming in. But it's more than what we think. It's not just a small thing, you know, it's a huge thing that is affecting the entire country, and so the entire world. And so by bringing in these mentors, we show the children, or we try to teach them or educate them on the different themes that the different campaigns. And whenever we do that, sending them off to their homes, and they're painting at home, and they bring back artwork to me on Monday, it is mind-blowing what they do. One of those such as incidents was when we were talking about this gun violence exhibition. We were talking about gun violence, our campaign against anti-gun violence in the country, and we were talking about this in school for about 3 months. From I would believe it was from October or September, we started talking in school about this anti-gun violence campaign and our exhibition that we wanted to pull off at the end of the year. And the students, when they came to me and they kept bringing ideas of what they can do. One of the ideas that really blew my mind was painting each of the victim each victim under the age of 18. So we were given that idea from a student, you know, Miss, I think we should paint all these kids under the age of 18 who were affected, the victims who died from the who died from the gun, who died from the bullet. And so we ended up coming together, putting together a list of nine victims throughout the year of 2021, and we painted each one of them. That was something for me that was very very heartwarming, because the students came up with that idea, and one by one they kept bringing in their paintings one by one about what they feel or how they feel when they think about gun violence.
So they painted the incidences themselves, right? Using
Yes, they
notes,
did.
From what they recall,
From what they think.
what they think.
Yes. And that comes from talking to the police or watching Love FM news, or, you know, just talking in school, talking to their friends and talking to their parents. And then they paint things that they feel to express themselves about what's happening right now in our community and in Belize.
Talking about gun violence, so do you teach them to use a gun? Because I noticed behind you, you have a lot of bullet holes and things used for target practice.
Yes.
Right? You know, if you're practicing to shoot a gun, then that's what you would use. Why do you have this reflected here on the wall?
Okay, so the campaign for gun violence, I did a lot of research about what we can do or how we can show off or showcase our art. This is also important, you know, when you're putting up your art in a museum, there is a way in which that you would do that so that you can bring in the most efficient impact. You know, so when somebody walk in, they're like, whoa, blown by it. And so what we decided was, we have a student, Courtney. So Courtney's dad, Mr. Gary, the same person I was mentioning, he has this, he has a company that teaches how to use gun and gun safety. Yes. And so we asked him if there was any possibility of him giving us some of the used targets, because for us to have a used target in the display, we're basically indirectly telling the gunman, shoot this, not shoot that, because we have the paintings of every portrait of every person who died under the age of 18 in our art exhibition, along with targets. So we're indirectly telling you, put down your gun, but if you really want to shoot the target. Shoot a tree, go out there and shoot into the sand pit, but don't shoot the people. Also, we're telling you, this thing is much more than just picking up the gun. Some of the violence that has happened in Belize were by accident. You know, a lot of the youths want to be playing around with guns and they don't know.
They don't know what they're playing with, really.
Exactly. They don't know that you can take a life with this thing, and if you don't know how to use your gun, how to clean your gun, how to properly have gun safety, you know, as part of your or educate yourself about gun safety, then it is a lethal weapon in your hand, and you must understand that it is better for you to shoot a target than a human being. So that was part of our campaign as well, gun safety.
So, Raquel, you have brought one of your young students here so that we can get to know her. And so, who am I talking to, my dear?
I'm Emily Wade. I'm Miss Raquel's student from Miss Raquel's school.
And how long have you been going to Miss Raquel's school?
4 months.
And how much more longer do you have to stay at Miss Raquel's school, as far as you know?
Like, I don't really know. But I'm here for 4 months, and that's how I really learn how to do arts.
What have you learned to do so far?
I learned to do human faces and animals.
And animals? Which one do you prefer drawing, the human faces or the animals?
The animals.
Okay, which is your favorite animal that you like to draw?
The iguana.
Oh, why the iguana?
Because I love putting different colors in it and helping the animals.
So when you draw an iguana, you make sure you detail all the colors of the iguana? I need to see one of your paintings. Right.
I ready paint an iguana. I send it to Dubai.
That's true.
To Dubai in across the way over the next side of the world. And did you get money from it?
Yes, $100.
Okay. So that's good. That's excellent. So you think that when you get older, you'll continue this painting streak that you're on right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a artist teacher when I grow up.
Oh wow.
That's great. You have another artist teacher, somebody following your footsteps here, Raquel. So they're training very well to follow in your footsteps.
Yes, what Emily is talking about with the Dubai paintings, I forgot to mention, is that our Dubai paintings are on display. They're on display in Dubai in the World Expo in the Belizean Pavilion. So yes, it's there. It's all the way across the world. You remember, Emily?
Now, Emily, when you're painting this iguana, you take it from a picture, you take a picture and paint it, or you just take it out of your mind what you remember the iguana looks like?
Well, sometimes I see pictures and I think of them from my mind.
Uh-huh. So you'll add a bit of your imagination to your painting to make it different from anything else.
Yes.
Now, what would you tell other boys and girls at your age? Because you're very young. How old are you?
I'm 8.
8. Yes, you're very, very young. What do you tell other 8-year-olds like yourself when it comes to learning to paint? What it does for you?
And you like paint? You have to follow your dreams.
So you follow your dreams. And that's what you are doing, following your dream. Your dream is to be a painter, so you are following your dreams.
Yeah.
When did you find out? I mean, this might be a little hard for you to tell me. I'm not too sure. But when did you find out that you really wanted to be a painter? What made you find out, hey, this is what I really like. This is what I want to do. How did you find that out?
Because when I was small, I loved to draw. And then I never know how to paint. That's why I started on paper. And then I moved up way up to canvases. And that's how I liked to paint.
Canvases?
Yeah, way up to canvases. I started on papers.
And now you can paint cement walls too. Can we paint murals?
You have painted a mural?
Yeah.
What did you paint on that mural?
I painted humans on it, trees, everything, mountains.
You did mountains.
Did you take part in the painting campaign in Belmopan? Belmopan had a painting campaign painting the fence. I think it was at the stadium.
Isidore Stadium, yes.
The Isidore Beaton Stadium. Did you take part in that?
Yes.
And that's where you painted
The mountain.
the mountain.
Yes.
Little Emily was on a big ladder.
Your parents support you in all of this, Emily?
Yes. My dad go to different countries and that's how he get me paints and brushes.
Okay. Wow, interesting.
Yes, we have the great support of these kids' parents. They bring the kids. Whenever Miss Raquel say we need to do something, most of my parents, 99.9% of my parents are like, okay, what time, Miss Raquel, and where? So it's amazing. The support that we get from the parents, I have to say thank you, parents.
Because without the parents supporting it, it's difficult. But I'm impressed by you, Emily. I must tell you that I like the fact that you're following your dreams, because that is important for us to do in life. It's that we follow our dreams and become what we have inside of us. And obviously you are that painter, so I could see you being a great painter one day.
And I really help people to paint. Like when my dad have guests, I teach him how to paint.
You teach them?
You teach your dad's guests how to paint? Oh, that's interesting.
And I get paid like that too.
And they pay you to teach as well? That's interesting. Yeah, so you're already becoming that entrepreneur that Ms. Raquel is talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you want to open a school like Ms. Raquel?
Yeah, I'm gonna open a school, and then I will help children to paint.
Wow.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with you and your love for painting, and I want to wish you the very best. You know, is there anything I never asked you that you might want to say? Because I know you were thinking that I was coming to talk to you. You might have had an idea in your mind that you wanted to get across, and maybe I did not ask you that idea, that question to lead you into that idea. Maybe let me give you the time to express whatever idea you might have going through your mind right now.
Well, I'm gonna go to different countries cause to help kids in different worlds and everything, and then open schools in different countries too.
Wow.
That's good.
Did you like being a part of the different campaigns? For example, the gun violence?
Yes.
What did you paint for gun violence?
Yeah, what did you do?
I painted a gun with an X cause I don't like when people kill children cause their family really miss them, and that's why I draw the X on a gun.
Okay, so is that here? Is that
Yes,
okay?
it is.
Which one is that? Let me see. Which one?
Right on the bottom there. Shooting is not worth it.
Oh, let's. Okay, I guess we'll look at that. Shooting is not worth it. All right? And definitely shooting is not worth it, right?
And then I really hate when they kill children because their family miss them and everything,
Yes,
and
the
their
family.
friends and everything.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's why I help people and show them my paintings.
Your painting. So,
Yeah.
so you express your displeasure with those who use guns through your paintings and telling them, hey, stop that not lead nowhere, right? And all you're doing is creating havoc and ruining people's lives.
Yeah, so I that's why I'm going to different countries to help people and stuff.
You're going to be raising awareness
Well,
through art.
yes, and I'm impressed that she's already focused on what she wants to do at this young age.
Surprise.
At the age of 8, you know, she answered all the questions. She said what she wants to do.
Yes.
You know, and so Emily, I just want to wish you the very best and hope that one day you remember that an older man like myself spoke with you and came to visit you and learn from you.
I really wish and I'm gonna like raise money for the people in the orphanage to make their dream come true.
An orphanage?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She knows what she wants to do. Why you selected an orphanage?
Because people want to do dreams and I'm gonna give them their dreams. That's why I'm gonna go to different orphanage in different countries.
What's an orphanage?
Or orphanage with kids what their moms and their dads abuse them or throw them on the streets and everything.
Oh, wow.
That's where they're gonna stay when they don't have no parents or nothing.
Wow, Emily.
That's impressive that you already want to live a life of service. I mean, she already realizes that the life that she wants to live is a life of service.
Wow.
Congratulations on that, Emily.
Thank you.
Students at Raquel Art have been engaged in a number of issues that affect the nation, like gun violence and gender-based violence. We'll have more after this break to hear from our partners.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited project became a reality because Belizeans believed in the project and invested in its development, construction, and implementation. Equity financing for the project featured investments from local enterprises as well as one foreign investor. The public-private partnership structure of the project facilitated government's ownership of a 25% stake at no cost to the taxpayers. Debt financing for the project featured the successful launch of Belize's first ever project bonds, some $30 million financed by a cross-section of institutional investors. Investments came from credit unions, notably St. Francis Xavier Credit Union and Holy Redeemer Credit Union, insurance companies, pension funds, and commercial banks. In addition, the project managed to successfully secure some $12 million in debt financing from the IDB Invest. The IDB's participation in this debt financing is a testament to their belief in the environmental, social, and governance principles taken on by the developers of this project. This project is a testament to the growth and development of Belize's financial system. It shows confidence of Belizean investors to put their money behind homegrown and developed projects that contribute to our national development. I am proud of this project, and I'm hopeful that there are many more like it to come.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust esteems its partnership with creative and innovative minds that aim at improving Belizean lives and communities. The trust has invested over 11 million Belize dollars by funding projects that promote positive impact in areas of education, social and environmental sustainability, and entrepreneurial development. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans and unlocking potential since 2008. Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell!
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, Sa Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Pieles.
Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation. It's been too long, we've got to unite now. Time and space can't keep us apart right now. Unity, yes, you better know. It's the only way to go. We stay apart, then we'll have to fall. Count on you, count on one and all. It's not for you, not for me, it's not for we. It's not for you, not for me, it's not for we. Love and respect for the other. No man, that is your brother.
Okay, so Courtney Gentle, and Courtney, I know I'm no stranger to you because I know your father very well, my good friend Gary Gentle, you know. But I have never pictured you as an artist, as a painter, right? Tell me where did this painting desire start, as far as you're concerned?
Well, art has always been a part of my life. From sketching to performing in my high school, art was always a part of it. My friends were encouraging me to try out painting because I done watercolors at home, but I never thought about doing acrylic. And they were encouraging me, and I said I would think about it until during COVID when Miss Raquel came out with her school. And my mom was the one who actually told me about the classes. And when I heard about it, I knew I had to do it because I'm always trying to find something new with art. Art is always a passion of mine, so I'm like, I'm definitely gonna try it. But my first class, I was a little bit nervous, but Miss Raquel jumped me right in. It was like straight like head diving, and I fell in love instant. Seeing a blank canvas and seeing that I can bring it to life with all these colors, with everything, with contrast, highlights. It was very amazing.
How long ago did you start with Miss Raquel?
I started 4 or 5 months ago.
That's recent as well, right? And how will you summarize what you have learned in those?
We learned a lot from realism to 3D to contrast to the horizon line. I've learned so much.
And is there any special painting object that you like to paint? Any special type of objects that you paint above others?
I'm more landscape. I prefer to do a lot of details.
Okay, details.
Detailed. I would like to say I'm one of Miss Raquel's best detailed artists.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I love taking my time and doing all the small details, especially when it comes. Right now, I'm working on a bird, and I'm not finished, but the little details, I enjoy doing it.
Now, besides the painting, what do you do? Because you're a teenager. Are you still a teenager? I'm just supposing there.
Yes, I'm 19 years old. Um, so far with school, Miss Raquel is, I would consider she's my sixth form right now. But I'm always trying something new. Right now it's painting for me, but in high school I did a lot of performing, from being captain of my cheerleading squad back in high school. I did a lot of dancing for our Noche Latina back when I was in third farm. Any new thing involved with art or performing, I was always in it.
Mhm.
Oh yes, in Galen, I did. They had a film and production course, and I was a part of it. And I've learned so much from how to become a producer, a director, what all happened behind the scenes.
Well, I'm happy that you learned that at Galen, because when you talk about Galen, you get kind of close to me. And I remember when we organized that film production course, and it's a pleasure to talk to a graduate of that and to hear you say that so spontaneously, you know, that you learned a lot from it.
Yes, it was so much because when I heard about the course, I thought, oh, I'm going to learn about editing and such. But it really taught us what happened behind the scenes and what they expect, what all the producer does, what all the director does, even people who in stage makeup, what they do. And learning with that, I see I can fit in multiple stuff, because with art, with painting, it can always fall behind makeup. So I can always go like in a makeup trailer, learn with special effects, or I could be a videographer, a producer, a director. There's so many things I could do under film, and I just love how diverse it is and how all the stuff I've done, it falls back all into one.
Yeah. So the art and the acting and the filmmaking, you're telling me that all that collide into one, right? Sometimes it's difficult to wrap the art or the painting into the filmmaking. How do you see that marrying together? The fact that you paint something and then you do a film, like.
Well, it's it does collide, because when I first started, Mr. Raquel taught us about the horizon line. If you're gonna paint a like scenery, you have the sky where it meets the land, and you have the horizon line. So with film or photography, it falls right under that. It teaches you, you gotta know where your horizon line. If you want more sky than land, if you want more land than sky,
Yeah.
so it all falls under one criteria.
And so
And even with the makeup, when we do realism, it's basically doing makeup. Instead of on a face, it's on canvas. You learn about contouring, the contrast, contouring on the face. It's basically shadowing in when you're painting. The contrast, how all the colors make it pop. The highlight, where all the light hits on the face, you do it on your painting. Everything cut under one.
now, Marianne, we were talking about this campaign against crime that you all paint, and you can see it all around here. That we're lamenting the fact that too many of our children have fallen victim to crime. And what are your thoughts on that campaign and doing these paintings?
Well, for me, my thoughts are how these are very young kids. We are the future, basically. And seeing that how kids close to my age, around my age, basically are leaving the house and they got shot, basically they got killed, their innocent lives. And at first it was very scary, even though I know it happened mostly in Belize City, but anywhere it happened, could be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was scared at first, so I incorporated it in my art. I'm showing, especially when Miss Raquel told us when we convinced Miss Raquel about the exhibition, I always put in how I feel into it. How scared am I? How basically much of the future of Belmopan is dying, about Belize is dying. Innocent lives have been taken. So I wanted to show that in my art, and especially with this whole gun violence exhibition, I was very excited because my dad, he was raising us about gun safety, how take care of you about a gun, don't be trigger happy. And so I told Mr. Raquel about my dad, and I encouraged him to go speak at the exhibition. And he was happy to. he's always happy to talk about gun safety and everything.
Yes, I'm familiar with that part. That's one.
So when I painted, I make sure I always tell my classmates about gun safety, what my dad taught me, with how this exhibition is so close to me, and so I'm happy that I'm doing this, bringing awareness that you shouldn't be trigger happy, you shouldn't boast around a gun, because for a teenager, it's everywhere. It's in our music, it's in movies, and so we want to bring that awareness towards it.
And you yourself, you can handle a gun, right?
Yes, my dad have taught all his kids how to shoot.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that as well. That's why I asked the question. No, paintings over there. What you did some of those?
Yes. I did the hand that's in the hand. It is basically dripping blood, and it has 2021 carved into it. And I've written all the lives that have been lost between 2020 and 2021 because they were victims. And basically, I want to bring awareness because they may be gone, but they're not forgotten. I also did Angels of 2020 and 2021. Is basically like almost like a tombstone. They show that these are our angels, that how they're forever with us. They're in our hearts. And I've done the gun, the front of a gun. That gun, like it just been fired and smoke is coming through. But I made the Belize flag like it was melting through it because so many of our Belizeans have, be like, oh, I have a gun. They feel powerful. But in reality, the gun don't bring power. It's not about the gun. It's how you use it. It's the person behind it. So the reason why I did the Belize flag melting away, because they feel so powerful with the gun. And we help with the Miss Raquel with the portraits. Okay. I did this one and over here.
And these portraits are portraits of children that have fallen victim to gun violence. Because I noticed in your name, the Angels of 2020, 2021, we have Lady Judith, 14 years old, Shamar Nicholas, 16 years old, Kwame Williams, 14 years old, Shania Cardenas, 17 years old, Jamir McKay, 9 years old, Michael Henry, and maybe you should continue reading them off, Michael Henry, 17 years old. You continue. Nicanor Formin, 15 years old. Let me say that. Nicanor Formin, 15 years old. Dwayne Gabriel, 15 years old. Casman, 15 years old. And Alison Mayer.
He's 36 years old.
Yes,
he's from Belmopan, actually.
Belmopan.
Yes.
Okay. So those are victims
who fallen from the gun. Because people are untrained. Yes, it is a weapon for safety. Basically, it's how you know how to use it, how you can handle your gun. Basically, a gun is a very powerful weapon, but it's not as powerful as the person behind it if they know how to properly use it.
With Raquel Art, what do you do for the community? I mean, how do you take your art out to the community?
Well, Miss Raquel is always finding projects for us to do. We recently did help with the police academy. It was very fun painting and seeing all the cadets. Miss Raquel is always finding new projects. I love doing community service, so it's an honor to do community service and also bring my talent towards how all it could be part of one. I can't wait for new because we just went on New Year's 2022, so there's more to come, more projects to come. So I'm so excited. Stay tuned for that also. And I've helped out home. My friends have been so many orders. I did a cup. I surprised one of my friends for his birthday because he wanted a cup for his birthday. He wanted one of those Yeti cups, and I didn't want to get that's a plain basic Yeti cup because everyone have those. So I customized it for him because he wasn't doing so well. He was in a bad place, and I'm honored that this cup brought him back, and he felt so much better. And also my number one fan, my grandma, she wasn't doing so well, and the fact is that she was here for seeing all my art. And she was my number one fan. She was always excited for my new sketches, my new paintings. She is the reason why I'm doing this. She's pushing me more. Yes, she recently passed on Monday. So thank you. So I'm gonna continue in her name.
Okay, very good. Then. So you now, as you continue now, what are your aspirations and what are your goals in life?
I want to become an artist. I want to do everything in art. I want to become a videographer, a performer, and an artist.
A videographer, meaning you'll get behind the camera, huh?
Yes, but also going to be in front of
And
it
you want to be
also.
in front of the camera as well?
Yes.
As a performing artist?
Yes.
So, and as a painter?
Yes.
As well.
Yes. My grandma said, no matter what you do or what you want to become, as long as you become the best at it. And I'm planning to become the best at painting, sketching, performing, even in videography, even for photography also.
Now, speak to young people like yourself at your age. What would you tell them? What would be your first message? You meet another young person your age, what's your first message to them?
My message to them is there'll be a lot of haters. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you can't do this, or I could eat better, or like, you really want to do this? There'll be haters because they're jealous. So push through it. Prove them wrong. Their hate should be your drive to prove them wrong.
Yes.
And also, you always have, if you have haters, you also have millions more followers.
Look for the positive and not the negative.
Yes.
And if the negatives come your way, you use the negatives to grow on.
Yes. See the light through it.
Yeah, so that's the way it is, right?
Yeah.
So before I leave, I'd like to know what's coming up next for Courtney.
Well, since we did our exhibition in Knitting with the clothes exhibition, we are planning to take it to the streets of Belize. So you're welcome to stay tuned for that. And also, I am also opening up my very own art Instagram page. So stay tuned for that. Yes.
Oh, okay. What else will I stay tuned for where Courtney is concerned?
Well, I'm also going to open also Facebook. I'm going and heading my art to social media more. So it won't only be on Miss Raquel page, but also I'm going to have my own personal page.
Okay. Well, Courtney, thanks for talking with me, and I want to wish you all the best and all your dreams come true.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, Raquel, I want to thank you so much for receiving me here at your art school. I want to congratulate you for what you're doing with our young people. I think it's a very, very good thing that is happening here. I get a good feeling that you're teaching a very comprehensive art package, you know, to our young people, and you said you have touched over 100, so that's quite an accomplishment, especially during these COVID times when our young people need to have things to do that will occupy their time and their interest. Before I leave you, anything I'm missing out here, Ms. Raquel?
Well, to wrap it up, I would like to say that yes, we've touched over 100 students throughout the Raquel Art year. We've done 1 year, completed 1 year from January to now. And we also did projects in the community where we brought in hundreds of other students, not students, but young people. Like, for example, we did one with the Christmas tree. So we did the Christmas tree ornaments, and we had 100 kids out there along with my students to paint different ornaments for the tree, and we put it on the tree as well. So there are so many kids that we have tried to bring art to. And to wrap up the year, or wrap up our interview today, looking forward into the future, we are seeing different little programs and activities coming up for our school. Then we have our gun violence we're taking to the road. So gun violence will be on the streets in the Belize country and not just Belmopan. So we want to take our paintings out to Belize City first. We are trying to get the help of Alex Sankar, he doesn't know that yet, to help me put, because he has all those easels. So we want to put out our paintings just as he does every Thursday on the Albert Street sidewalk. We would like to do the same, but have it for gun violence. We were either thinking of doing it on the streets or asking the permission of the mayor to have it done in the Central Park, Battlefield Park area. We used to call it Battlefield Park. But that's what we're looking for in the near future. Also, we are doing our Valentine's Day small mini paintings, and we're setting them over the country in different gift shops and different coffee shops for anyone to buy. Whatever you buy from Raquel Art, please remember that a percentage of the proceeds goes towards the school and help us expand so we can get even more students involved and different projects coming up for the new 2022 art year.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Raquel, for what you're doing and for teaching our young children to paint.
Yes.
Right? The teacher don't send me to?
Yes, actually I do. I have a program coming up that is for, we call it coffee and paint, or paint and coffee. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my art to different coffee shops and I sell kits. So for example, it's like a paint party, but it's a mini paint party. So we do different paint kits. For example, I'll have paint kits from $15, $20, and $25. And so you could buy it along with your friends, like maybe you guys here would like to do something at the end, and then you sit down and you paint something small, and then you can take it home as your gift. I'll provide everything, the paint, the materials, and all that, and then we do it inside a little coffee shop. I also have paint parties coming up. I have one coming up for Ladyville, so I'll do one in Ladyville for Valentine's Day, and that'll be on February 13th. In Ladyville at Buccaneer Taverns. That's a little bar and restaurant in Ladyville up by the old BDF Road. So we're having a Valentine's Day paint party. Courtney doesn't know she's coming with me, and we will have a paint party there for couples so that they can paint together and do a two set. I forgot what was the word for that. There was a special term for two paintings that you put together to make one. But anyhow, so we're doing those types of paintings. Paint merger. Yeah, like a paint set. So we're doing those projects, and again, most of the proceeds for those types of projects goes right back into the school to have funding for new projects and to build the school and expand.
Okay. Well, best wishes as you continue.
Thank you.
Your work, Raquel.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank
The painting done by Emily will be a treasure I will always keep. I've framed it already, Emily, and it will hang in my office with a lot of pride. Thank you so much for the wonderful evening we spent at Raquel Art. Best wishes to Raquel and her students. Belize Watch, knowledge of the past, impacting the present and building the future.